This would be good on a porch, on a front porch, playing with friends. I'm not going to do it, but they sound great when you... So if there's one thing I want my music to do, it's to bore people.
Welcome everyone to the Soundboard Session podcast with the BnT Collection. My name is Garrett, and we have the incredible opportunity today of interviewing Mike Dawes.
Dude, so nice to be here.
Yeah.
This sucks.
This is the worst team we could ever have, but
such an honor to be here.
Yeah,
wow.
So grateful you're in town. I want to just tell you a little bit about Mike real quick before we get started. Mike Dawes is an English guitarist from Bristol, known for composing, arranging, and performing multiple parts simultaneously on one single acoustic guitar. He's widely regarded as one of the most inventive and expressive modern fingerstyle players with a repertoire that spans viral originals, crowd favorite arrangements, and chart-topping works alongside Justin Hayward of the Moody Blues. Mike was named Best Acoustic Guitarist in the World 2 years in a row, 2017 and 2018 by Total Guitar Magazine and Music Radar readers.
And my mom.
And your mom. Okay, that tops them all. YouTube personality Rick Beato has also called him one of the finest acoustic guitarists in the world. How does that feel?
Wow. Hearing you say that sounds really nice. I mean, obviously, a lot of that's subjective. So, but no, it's really nice to be here, and I appreciate the invite. I mean, just walking in here, seeing all these amazing guitars you guys have, it's like, you know, the cliche of the kid in the candy store.
Yeah.
But it's a candy store that it's like look but don't touch, you know. But yeah, it's amazing, and it's cool to bring this guy here as well because there's not many of these in the wild. And this is my guitar, which I've loved for almost 10 years now. Wow. And it's nice for him to be in good company today.
Sure.
You know,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Lots of friends around.
Absolutely.
Lots of friends. Well, first off, how is LA treating you? I know.
LA's great. Well, this is a bit of an accidental trip, and I'm so grateful to be here because, it's a bit bittersweet. I was on tour. So I've been opening up the shows and playing guitar for Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues for, 12 years now. Our first tour together was in 2013. It was going to be a, would you like to join a small band for one small tour of the USA? That was what the email was, and here we still are. And obviously, it's a pleasure to be able to, not just share my own music with Justin and the Moody's fan base, but be able to be on stage playing Nights Might Sad in Question, Story in Your Eyes. I know you're out there somewhere in your wildest dreams, all this stuff. Wow. So I was on tour in the States doing that. But regrettably, unfortunately, we had to postpone a couple of shows towards the end of it due to a throat infection that Justin had. Yeah. Obviously, when you're the voice, it's quite hard to be the voice if you lose your voice. So we will be back in these areas if you're one of the ticket holders. But I ended up coming to LA, doing a few collaborations with some interesting musicians here, and. Sure. And you guys hit up my management at the perfect time, and here we are.
It was literally a few days ago.
Literally, I was sat twiddling my thumbs like, what am I going to do for a week in Los Angeles? And here we are. So maybe I'll do some guitar shopping. Yeah.
And we're making it happen.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. So I wanted to ask you a few icebreaker questions. I think it's important to get to know Mike as a human being rather than just a guitar player, right?
Let's do it.
So let's see. If you weren't doing music, what other career would you see yourself in?
Man, well, I mean, I would still be playing music. It just might not be a career. You know what I mean? It's doing music. I was talking about this with someone yesterday. I was working with a really amazing musician named Bernd. He's an Austrian guitar shredder. Yeah. And he just moved to Los Angeles. And as another European in Los Angeles, we met up and we ended up making some music together, which will probably come out maybe by the time this is out.
Exciting.
But we were talking about what it means to do music as a career now. And when I started, I left school and went out with Justin and then doing my own shows and my own music. This was at an era before the social media that we know now. And the only way to really make a career was you get out there and you play shows. Definitely. And that's what I did, right? Yeah. But now there's so many different things people do, with social media and gear stuff and TikTok and all this kind of stuff. I feel like to twist your question slightly, it's almost interesting to me, like if you were starting now, would you still do it the same way?
What I mean? Yeah, I'd love to hear that. Because I love touring so much. I love playing to people so much and playing concerts. So I'm on the road so much, 10 months of every year maybe, although I'm trying to cut it down. But now there are so many other creative avenues. You can be a professional musician from your bedroom now. So I've pondered this, and I've come to the conclusion that what really makes me happy is sharing music with other human beings in real life. So to answer your question, whatever I would be doing, it would involve being around people. The interactiveness.
That's the interactiveness. I love being around humans.
despite playing solo guitar, which is obviously quite introspective and introverted, that need to share that with other people will always be there. So whether it's music or whether it's, I don't know, gaming or sports or whatever, I'd be doing something social, because people are fantastic. Despite what the internet wants you to believe, people are great.
Well, I love that, because why are we doing music in the first place?
Exactly.
To serve other people, right?
It's to get something from here, or from here to here, to here, to there, to there, out. And hopefully it lets people forget about their mortgage for the day. That's
huge.
That's really what it's about. But it would be denial to say it's not self-serving. It's very satisfying to have that feeling of people visually being, visually experiencing something that you've created. That's an amazing feeling. So it's a selfish thing as well. I'm not going to deny that. Yeah.
I love that, man. So next question on the list: what's the favorite place you've ever traveled to with your extensive touring career? You've been around the world.
Yeah.
What if you had to pick one?
Well, obviously, and I'm not just saying this, but America's pretty great, right? I don't mean, I don't know. As I said, like the great thing about America is America's treated me so well. They really love British people with guitars, it turns out, right? There's a big history of British people with guitars coming to America. I mean, look at Justin Hayward and the Moody Blues. Look at the Beatles. Look at. So I've always had a really great musical experience here, and some of my dearest friends live here. That being said, being a solo musician, I've had the opportunity to travel to places like China, to New Zealand, to Colombia, to Kenya.
Yeah.
And some of these trips have been life-altering in sort of a more spiritual way, in a way where it's experiencing another culture, boots on the ground with people. And again, going back to what I was saying, the people make the place. People are great. And that, I feel like, has been such a priceless experience versus what we're kind of exposed to online. So anywhere that's off the beaten path that most people don't get to go would be my favorite. So I would say, I mean, being in Kenya, in Lebanon, in places like this, just been priceless. One of those. Let's say Kenya, Lebanon, or Colombia. They were all very memorable, totally different vibes, all amazing.
And the guitar is bringing you all over the place. I love that.
I will say one thing that was crazy is I played guitar. I played one of my own songs that I wrote in my bedroom in England with a Chinese fan who'd learnt it on the Great Wall of China.
Doesn't get much better than that, folks.
I don't know if I'm allowed to swear here. That was such a mind F.
Yeah,
so I'm always going to remember that.
Wow.
For sure. Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. So outside of music, what other hobbies do you have that you'd say you couldn't live without? Like
hobbies. I mean, if I'm going to be really honest, it's always something to do with music, but it's such a diverse pursuit. If I'm in a creative space, then playing guitar and writing is paramount. But if I'm in a touring space, then it's the joy of traveling. And then the hobby is really just getting to experience other places and cultures and things like that. I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy, when I am home, getting on a violent video game with friends who I've met on the road at 3 a.m. because we're all in different time zones, just hammering that objective. You know what I mean? We're on it,
2 a.m., you're just going
Battlefield, Mario Kart. I would say Mario Kart 8 I've become quite a surgeon at.
Oh, interesting.
I was taught how to play it correctly by the singer of a band called Periphery, a metal band.
Yeah.
He's also an absolute savage at that game. Okay. So that was COVID. That was a pandemic project. Some people bought guitars, other people got good at Mario Kart,
Honestly, you could have done anything during that time.
Yeah.
Just went by, just gone now.
Well, funnily enough, I didn't play much guitar in the pandemic at all. I spent 8 months not playing guitar at all.
Wow.
It was a very strange time, and it was talk about bittersweet. It was the unfortunate passing of Eddie Van Halen. That
I remember.
Yeah, that suddenly my brain just clicked, and I was like, I need to play guitar right now.
Wow.
And then got me back on my feet, which is, not obviously it's not a positive thing, but it's just such a crazy brain chemistry thing when that happened.
Yeah. No, I remember that moment very vividly, where I was.
Really.
One of the legends.
As a guitar player, it's a big thing.
It's crazy, man. So last question on this section: what is something that your fans don't know about you? Maybe that you haven't said yet. You probably, obviously, fans might know a lot about you, but what is maybe something that you haven't told someone yet?
Goodness, that's a really big question. Something that people don't know. You'll have to edit the awkward silence while I think about this. Something that people might not know is I used to be in heavy metal band. Could you tell, right?
It's there.
Yeah. But the reason that I decided to go solo, I've told this story a few times. So what people might not know is I couldn't afford an acoustic guitar. And I wanted to go solo and play with my fingers and get rid of the guitar pick. So my dad took me to the guitar store and I bought a very, very affordable Crafter. It was a hybrid guitar. So kind of like a semi-acoustic, like a lipstick pickup. And I was inspired then by seeing early videos of people like Andy McKee and the late Michael Hedges as YouTube was becoming a thing.
Yeah.
This is back sort of 2006, 2007. But I didn't have a hollow-bodied guitar.
Okay.
So I had this semi-acoustic that had hollow chambers.
Yeah.
So I tried to do the percussion and do open mic nights with a little SM57, up against the guitar.
Yeah.
Sounded awful.
Yeah.
But something about that gave me the opportunity to sell little demo CDs, like little homemade CDs for like £1. And that helped me save enough money to get a Taylor guitar.
Okay.
So the early Mike Dawes recording, which exists out there somewhere for a few people in the Guildford, Surrey area of England, is a semi-acoustic guitar being played fingerstyle with a few little awkward sounding body knocks and things like that. So that exists there somewhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
But it's out there somewhere.
It is what it is.
Exactly. Maybe 100 of them were made or something.
Exactly, man. So kind of going into your background, I'd love to hear kind of, you kind of mentioned starting with the, electric guitar and then going to the acoustic, but who are some of your biggest influences, especially when you started?
On electric or acoustic?
Yeah, either, just overall.
Okay, so obviously influences are changing all the time, but so to be very honest, I got into playing guitar. When I got into playing guitar, I was really into Green Day.
Okay.
Then I progressed and got into Iron Maiden.
Okay.
And then suddenly anything else was lame because Iron Maiden, as a British guy, that's like
it's the craziest,
the coolest. I saw them with a giant pyrotechnic show with the 12-foot monster walks on stage and all that. I was just hooked, right? I was like, I want to play guitar. That's what I want to do. That was my come to Jesus moment. I want to do that.
Yeah.
So I was big into that. That's how I learned to do little guitar solos and stuff on the electric guitar. But it was later on where I discovered the music of Pierre Bensusan from France.
Yeah.
Amazing French guitar player. Famously plays a Loudon guitar. And my godfather he did the graphic design for Loudon guitars in their catalog, and his payment was a guitar.
Oh, interesting.
And it was a Pierre Bensusan signature, if I recall. And I remember him playing this kind of stuff, and I just fell in love with that sound. So Pierre was my gateway to wanting to play self-accompanied acoustic guitar. I'd heard of people like Tommy Emmanuel and others, but I hadn't really listened to their music. Again, this is the pre-YouTube era where if you had to own the record to hear the music, So I was given these Pierre Bensusan records as gifts. From there, I discovered others. But I would say for electric guitar, it was really Iron Maiden.
Okay.
And then for acoustic, it was Pierre. But then that progressed to the YouTube explosion of 2006 and the whole Candy Rat Records thing and all of that. And then later, I got really into Tommy, and then lo and behold, we've become the best of mates, and he invites me to open up for him all over the world, which is just the most insane blessing. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I actually saw you at Pepperdine University a while ago.
Way.
Yeah,
when
Tommy was doing that show.
Was that the one where?
Gosh, 2 years ago?
Pepperdine University was. Oh gosh, so that was the last show of the tour, I believe. That was in Malibu.
I think so,
right?
Malibu.
Yeah. I remember that because they had a big problem with my taxes.
Oh my god.
Because it's a university and I'm foreign.
Yeah.
So there was a big panic, do we pay this guy? This gig? What's going on? I remember in fact, my buddy Liam, who's out there, and the Ibanez rep came to that show.
Sure.
We all had a fun hang. That was a fun show.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again.
No, good to see you again.
Awesome. Yeah. And Ando San was at that show. He's an amazing guitar player. You should check out. A guy called Ando San. You'll find him on Instagram. Very unique style of kind of slap bass, but on the guitar.
Yeah.
He's great.
Gotcha. So when going back to your past, did you really take advantage of YouTube when it came out? Is that kind of really what was your
that was
lane?
that was the only way of getting music out there, really. I mean, this was pre-Spotify. Spotify didn't exist then.
Wow.
So it was really CDs and YouTube, if I recall. And the very first song I could tell you the whole story, really. I was in a musical duo with my girlfriend at the time, who was a harp player, a concert harp player, 47 strings. Wow. And we went and did the circuit in the UK in between studies. We'd get in a postman's van that we had because it was the only thing that could fit the harp in. Yeah. Like an actual legitimate Royal Mail red postman van. Sure. We drove to these concerts, we played, saved up enough money to make that our job whilst we were at uni. But we unfortunately parted ways after university. So suddenly all my repertoire was gone because it was all duo stuff. So what did I do? I arranged the ultimate breakup song, which was Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier at the time. And that was the first thing I really did as a soloist. And I pitched it to Candy Rat Records and to release. Bear in mind, I'd recorded it myself, shot the video myself, done everything. And they said, no, we don't want to release this because people hate that song. It's like one of the biggest songs in the world, bro. Are you sure? Bear in mind, this was a time where everyone and his dog was covering that song. So I understand where they were coming from. I convinced them to upload it, and that went super viral. And that's what gave me a career, really. And so I owe a lot to Gautier in that song, because suddenly a lot of emails came about, hey, do you want to come to this country on tour? Like Lebanon, do you want to do this? That was the first gig offer I got outside of England, was Beirut, yeah. Wow. But I didn't have any other material. I just had the one song. So the whole thing was, okay, give me a year, I'll write an album, I'll make an album, and then I'll come and play these shows. Sure. So in that year, I kind of was able to force myself to learn how to manage myself, learn how to book flights, learn how to get visas, learn how to do this, that, and the other. So that when it became time to start, I felt like I was already pretty well positioned to kind of be an independent artist. Yeah. And now it's 2025. So that's kind of how it happened. YouTube blew it up. And then I had to kind of, I had an opportunity here. I was here and I used this time to teach myself the ropes. You know? So absolutely. Yeah.
So fast forward to now, you've been on tour for 10 plus years, right? Is that?
Yeah, internationally since 2013. So my first album came out in 2013. Okay. But obviously I was doing the UK circuit.
So 12 years. Crazy. How do you kind of take care of yourself while you're on tour? How do you kind of, stay positive, don't burn out? Any kind of tips for, because 12 years is a long time.
I do burn out. Yeah. It sucks. Yeah, no, coffee helps. So it's going back to what I was saying. When I started, I had to force myself to go on tour because that was the only way to make a living. Sure. Instagram didn't exist, TikTok, all that stuff. I was a very introverted kid. I had to teach myself to be extroverted because if I'm standing on stage by myself, I have to communicate with people. Of course. And in that process of teaching myself to be, to worry less and to put myself out there more, I ended up getting a lot of energy from social interaction. Like I was saying, I love playing to people. I love that. So it's hard to burn out when I get my fuel from being around people, right? That being said, there's a limit to that. And homesickness is real. Missing your family is real. Relationships falling apart, all this kind of stuff sucks. So it is my mission right now to cut down on the touring and do more, collaborations, music releases, being at home. But yeah, good sleep helps. Okay. Coffee helps. Yep. Good food, not like food that looks like food. Okay, that's a good point. That's the phrase you need to remember. Eat food that looks like food. Looks like you understand what it is. If you're eating food that doesn't look like food, you'll start to feel a bit run down. Yeah. Exactly. So food that looks like food. That's what I say. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. So how is, the current tour that you're doing now going? Is it what are you playing? You're playing, I'm assuming, music off the new record?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually going, so we just wrapped up this one. I'm going back home for a month and a half, which is a long time to be at home. But then I'm coming back here and I'll be doing a headline tour. So I'm doing a tour for the new record. It's going to be starting in Seattle and ending at John Petrucci's guitar camp in Vegas. Amazing. Which is going to be insane. Yeah. Like they're all going to be there just ripping. Guitars. Yeah, exactly. And I'll just be there like, here's how to play a Celtic ballad in Dadgad. So I'll be the Sunday afternoon palate cleanser, for amongst all the bearded shredders. So that tour, it starts in late July in Seattle. It comes down. I'll be passing through California. If you want to come down, please do. Venice, Fontana, Seal Beach, places like that. I'm not sure geographically where that is compared to here. Yeah. But the dates are on the website. And the cool thing about that tour is it's It's full evening width. There's no opener.
Wow.
And I get to play as much as I want. And Justin Hayward's guitar tech is coming with me.
Yeah.
And I get him up on stage at the end, and we jam because he's a great guitar player. So and for the California shows, I'll probably have some special guests jumping up as well.
Nice.
I had I did this tour I was in Massachusetts a few months ago, and I had, do you know Tomo Fujita?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, so he came to 2 shows and jumped up, and we ended up jamming a John Mayer song together, and he was John Mayer's guitar teacher.
Yeah.
And he brought a guitar which John Mayer gifted him, the very first Silver Sky.
That's crazy.
The very first one in production he brought out was pink. And he brought it, and we ended up playing. And so moments like that get to happen on my solo tours because you never know which musician's in town and wants to play, So I'm really looking forward to that tour.
That's exciting. You can kind of make your own thing and
exactly
do it the way you want it.
Yeah, so that's the summer, and then after that I'll be out with Justin again.
Yeah.
And then I'll be doing a headline tour, which will be announced soon in Germany in November.
Exciting.
Which will be fun.
Stay tuned.
Love Germany. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So kind of finishing up the tour segment, I'd love to hear about how did you even start off with Tommy Emmanuel, and what was that experience like?
So if I recall, I met Tommy a few times just as a fan, just going to Tommy Fest and things like that in the UK.
Yeah.
But I was approached by Tommy's manager, asking if I wanted to open for him for a few shows, and we just really clicked. And Tommy's manager is now my manager as well, right? So whether he was auditioning me without telling me, I don't know. But Tommy and I have a great relationship in terms of who we are as people. I think we share a similar sense of humor. He's Australian, I'm British. There's a certain amount of joking about cricket and the weather that we can bond over,
Yeah.
And the thing with Tommy is he is so unbelievable as a musician and as a person that I feel like if there was a pie chart and it was 99% Tommy, that 1% gap, I think musically in terms of a concert, I think I would fit that gap. You know what I mean? I'm not doing the bluegrass. I'm not doing the Chet stuff or the Jerry Reed stuff or the Merle Travis stuff or whatever. There's a slightly different flavor with the open tunings and stuff that adds something different to the show. Yeah. So I think we get on. And then when we play together at the end, it's just so much fun because it's like Obi-Wan Kenobi and like some little Padawan just it's just great. So he's the best. And I remember the first time I opened for him, it was in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Scranton, Pennsylvania. I was really nervous going on stage because it's Tommy, and I was jet lagged and all this stuff. And I'm in the wings, and he's standing there because he's going to watch me. And I'm like, oh god, damn it. Of course, come on. And he says to me, remember, if you want to have a big crowd, you got to have a big sound, right? And he likes to talk in like rhymes. And I'm like, okay, big crowd, big sound. So I go out and I decide to play a really fast, like, thing.
Sure.
As the opener, that's kind of a weird move. And I got the whole crowd like clapping and they're going, shh, and I'm like doing this kind of tapping thing. And I just say in the mic, like, if you want to have a big crowd, you got to have a big sound. And I look over and he's there just like, yeah, brother. It was just wonderful. So it's he's just the best. Yeah. So we're going to be doing some stuff together next year in Down Under.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. To be announced. I don't know if I can say anything more about that, but the Down Under. And later this year, we're going to be doing some Europe together. We're going to be doing the Baltic countries. We're going to be doing Hungary and the Czech Republic as well.
Wow.
And Norway. Bits and bobs.
Y'all are a dynamic duo. I totally agree with the 99% thing too.
It's so fun. And we did a record together during COVID.
Okay.
A tour got cancelled on the West Coast. Mirror image of what's happening now. We just went to Studio City and recorded an EP. And I will admit that as a millennial, when I record things, like all millennials, we do lots of takes. We're perfectionists. There's the social media pressure and all of that. This record, it was 5 tracks. It was going to be 4 tracks, and everything was one take.
Wow.
And I was sat there playing. He was sat there playing. And it's kind of funny because we were separated by this acoustic panel. And I had mics on me and he had mics on me. And so all I'm seeing is his head, right? We don't have a click track or anything. And the only thing I have to keep me in time is just Tommy's head going, what? Yeah, just like goofing around, like, check out this lick, We did it. And then I didn't want to be the millennial and say, can we listen to it? Can we just change this? Can I do another take? I just had to like be confident in the performance. and then he says, okay, we need one more song. One more song. Do you have anything? So I said yes. Okay. So I went and I played something I was working on, a little standard tuning kind of waltz. And it was a cover song of a 1975 song called Be My Mistake. He'd never heard it at the time. So he goes, okay, I'll go and get the coffee. Just give me what Mike just recorded on headphones and I'll just listen to it. So he goes, gets the coffee, comes back 15, 20 minutes later, says, okay, I think I've got it. And he sat down, picked up his guitar, didn't touch the guitar once, and just played. And that's what's on the record.
Wow.
And it was just like the most insane, amazing, wonderful experience to make a record. So I'm trying to push myself to embrace those imperfections and embrace that uncertainty in the studio. I'm still a perfectionist, but it's one of the favorite records I've been a part of because of that reason. Yeah. Because it was just real. And with acoustic music as well, there's something really tangible about that, something really special. Wow. So, yeah, sorry, I'm the coffee's kicked in, so I love that. Sharing all the anecdotes.
Yeah, that's incredible. So let's talk about your guitar a little bit. I'd love to kind of...
This old thing?
Yeah, that's this old thing right there. Yeah. Tell us who made it, what you've done to it.
Well, this is, and as I said, it's so cool that this guitar is here amongst all your amazing collections. Sure. So this is my signature guitar here. It's made by a German guitar maker. Wow. Made by a German guitar maker in Germany, with a very unfortunate name. And I joke about this, but it's kind of funny. He doesn't really sell a lot of guitars in America in stores for a few reasons. First of all, he's a true independent artisan who only makes 2 handfuls of guitars a year. So if you're lucky enough to be able to get one, you're lucky. But second of all, his name is a very rude word in the English language. His name is Andreas, and his last name is Kuntz, which is spelt with a C. So it's C-U-N-T-Z.
Gotcha.
Right? So unfortunately, guitar stores aren't super stoked about stocking this which is a shame. Wow. And we've spoken about this with him, and he's just like, well, I'm not going to change my name. Why would I? It's my name. It's fair enough. Simple enough. He sells every guitar he makes, and there's a waiting list. As I said, if you're able to get one, it's called the Mike Dawes model. Then you're very lucky. You can go on his website, but sometime, which is there's clear search history afterwards. But you can go on his website and look it up. It's the Indian Rose, the Mike Dawes model, but you sometimes see them pop up on Toman, which is the European like Sweetwater. Sure. Right. However, he gives you a good deal. I don't know if I should say this, but if you go direct, sometimes it's better, right? And the interesting thing about it is that if you were to get one, it's totally customizable. So any of the specs are totally customizable. You want to change the neck, want to change the radius, you want to change the pickups, you want to have no pickups, whatever. Okay. So it's very cool. And I've played every show I've ever done since, 2016 with this guitar. Every show ever. So almost 10 years I've had this guitar. And it's Indian rosewood. It's Sitka spruce. It's a very old Sitka spruce. It's about 48 years old, the top. And you can see it's got a bit of wear and tear on there now. Sure. The one cool feature that you might be able to see on the camera here is that the strings don't actually bend. There's no break point after the nut. So that because these stay straight, first of all, it makes the headstock look cool. But second of all, it means that you can kind of get away with a bit of a lower tuning. There's a bit more tension there. Similar logic to a fan fret, you could say. Yeah. But without the fan fret. There's also some interesting reinforcement. There's extra bracing here. He's made this with percussion in mind. Gotcha. And as I said,
customizable.
Exactly. It's very it's a durable German workhorse. It's strong. It used to be a tree. Okay, very, very strong. So it's lasted. I've never had any problems with it. I think I cracked one brace once at a show in Pennsylvania and got that quickly fixed. But other than that, it's a golden nugget here. A few other features is that there's a little bit of extra of the spruce here, which we use as a little kind of washboard sound. It's called a scratch pad, and that was kind of invented, if you can invent a piece of wood, it was invented by Nick Benjamin / Thomas Lieb / Eric Roche in the UK. as a way of just covering up some damage.
Yeah.
There was some guitar players with holes in their guitar, and this went on, and it became sort of a part of the kind of modern fingerstyle sound. So shout out to Nick Benjamin, who I've got 3 of his guitars, an amazing UK guitar luthier, really, really wicked guitars. So I've got a mahogany Sitka, a Cocobolo Alpine, and an entirely maple semi-baritone, which we did as an experiment. So if you can imagine a bright sounding baritone, that's what we've got as well. There's a song on my new album called Goliath, which is the song that I'm using that one for. So It's a very unusual guitar with banjo tuners. But yeah, this is my favorite guitar, really. It's the Mike Dawes model signature Kunz, and you can get it from Andreas Kunz's website and Tom.
Well, sounds incredible. And so you're running something on the back of the instrument too, right?
This, yes. So actually right here, I've got a little gadget here. So this is made by some friends of mine. It's called the Tonewood Amp 2. Okay, I've been using the Tonewood Amp 1, aka Tonewood Amp, for quite some time. And I tend to just use this whenever I play the guitar. It just sticks to the back of the guitar. And when I plug it into the pickup here and turn it on, you might be able to hear something happen, which is pretty cool. So now when I play, there's actually reverb coming out of the guitar's sound hole.
Wow. It's not too much either. It's just enough.
Exactly. And I'm sure this will get picked up here. You can turn it up, I can turn it down, I can use it to run delay, I can use it to run chorus, all these effects and things. But I just like to play when I'm on my couch at home, or I'm in a bathroom, or I don't know why. Well, I mean, you can play it in the bathroom.
You can do anything, yeah.
But it adds a little bit of adds just a little bit of beautiful sauce, and it's very inspiring. So my second album Era, I wrote entirely with the Tonewood amp on the guitar, and most of my new album as well. The album's called Galactic Acid, because it just inspires. When I turn it off now, so say I'm playing, and then if I just turn it off and I try and play, it's just gonna be boring.
Yeah.
So once you play with it,
wow,
you can't really play without it.
Interesting.
So, and the thing I love about it is it was invented by a couple in Arizona called Helene and Ofer. They're very dear friends, and they're just awesome. They created something that was born out of passion. I'm not going to do a whole commercial on it. You can look it up. There's other stuff online about it, but I will say that the Tonewood Amp 2 is far and away superior to the first Tonewood amp, not just for app control but the sonic quality, the quality of the reverbs that are used, things like that. So I love it. I use it a lot, and I'd highly recommend people. We'll send you some if you want. They're just cool. Again, I like buddies, right?
I just love how it's coming straight out of the sound hole. So
it's pretty wild.
You don't need an interface or anything. It's just
exactly
through. So
you have to have a pickup. You have to have a pickup.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, in fact, I don't know why I took it off. I'd keep it on.
Yeah.
But
can't go without it now.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Give me that candy.
Yes, sir.
So you need a pickup, and because it takes information from the pickup, obviously, and then it kind of vibrates the back of the guitar, and
just sounds great, man.
It's great.
Dude, so I want to talk a little bit about your technique. So how did you develop such a solid, particularly your right hand?
My long fingers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How did you develop such a solid right hand technique and left hand? You have such precision with your left hand as well.
Oh, thanks.
Do you have any classical training?
No.
Or is it just kind of self? How do you figure it out?
So I get asked a lot, because maybe just playing with fingers and playing with nails, if there's any classical influence. There really is zero classical influence. I think if there was a classical influence, I'd be doing it all wrong. Because the classical guitar hand position is just so radically different from my hand position.
Sure.
My hand is very flat, very straight. You can see from that angle. I don't know if you guys can, but my philosophy on the guitar and what I'm playing is that once I got used to ditching the guitar pick and playing with fingernails, it's a mix of skin and nail, by the way. So even though I have nails, I'm still kind of, it's like I'm picking with the skin of my finger, but then the nail's kind of kissing the string a little bit. But first of all, the nails allow you to do things like, right-handed harmonics. So nails allow you to kind of do that. But in terms of all the extra kind of percussive things and weird little techniques, the philosophy is we're trying to add something to the song. We're not trying to replace the musical element of the guitar with nonsense drums, right? So it's like, how can I get a bass drum, with a chord, right? And then it becomes, okay, well, if I hit my wrist back but flick my finger down at the same time, I can do that. And I've got an almost bass drum and hi-hat kind of thing, right? How can I get a snare drum and a chord like that? Or so it's always something and a something else. And once those little micro techniques become kind of natural, the right hand technique is really all about staying as close to the sound hole as possible. There's actually there are songs where there's all flying all over the place because, I want to get YouTube views. That's a lie. I do, but that's not why it's not. You can hammer on and create interesting things while your hands are away. But generally, it's about creating music and trying to self-accompany with elements that keep me around here. A classic example of that, actually, going back to those harmonics, is, I'm picking these harmonics with my second finger or my third finger here. And the reason I'm doing that is so this thumb is free to accompany. But if I'm down here, I'm picking the harmonics with the thumb, so these fingers are free to accompany. So it's always thinking about what else can I do with my limbs and appendages.
Interesting.
Okay?
Yeah. Definitely.
So what else is there to do? The ideal situation is that you can entirely self-accompany with just the right hand. And this hand doesn't really need any training, right? So this is only doing regular, boring guitar playing. This is just the regular. You don't need to do anything. It's just a hand playing the guitar. But once you get those little rudiments and little flippity-doos and things, you can self-accompany without much bullshit.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a huge fan of players like Petteri Sariola from Finland. A huge fan of. Gosh, there's who was I watching recently who was awesome? There's a guy called, a guy from France. I'm going to butcher his name. It's Haildesta on Instagram. If I got that wrong, please amend. But he's a French guy who kind of is into like hip hop and rap and R&B and soul. But he's playing and singing in a way that's like that. Okay. But he's got such a groove. He's kind of doing like the Jay Dilla, Questlove kind of beats. But whilst singing and that guy has the best groove out of any guitar player I've ever seen ever. And he's not really in the guitar scene so much. I think he's just a guy singing songs, but man, he's good. Another one with an insanely unique right hand technique is Ben Lacey. Yeah. Ben Lacey?
I've heard of him, yeah.
What a beast. He's doing this kind of like string dragging thing. Well, he's playing. I don't know exactly what he's doing. He's on electric guitar, but it sounds like he's kind of like dragging his finger over the strings. Yeah. I became such a fan of him when I was at university. I tried to do a Stevie Wonder tune, trying to copy his technique. Sure. So but on acoustic, I tried to like add like the kicks and the snares. And then I realized that like, if you open the strings, you start to get the first notes of like, like Stevie Wonder stuff. And that's the hand kind of just dragging. So that's a unique kind of right hand technique. So Ben Lacey, man, he's got a groove. I remember I was at Summer NAMM in Nashville with Ben and his wife, and I needed to get to Knoxville, Tennessee for a gig, and they live there. So he goes, "Hey, Mike, we'll give you a lift, man." And we're driving on the highway between. Oh no, it wasn't. It was Lexington, Kentucky. We were going to. So we're driving all the way to Lexington from Nashville, and he's like, "Mike, we're gonna stop for food. You ever heard of a place called McDonald's? Do you have that in England?" It's like, they got this thing called the Big Mac. It's amazing.
And that's food that doesn't look like food, right?
Some of it looks like food, but it ain't food. It ain't food. Sure. It started as food. But yeah, man, that's Ben Lacey and that guy, again, I'm so sorry for not knowing how to pronounce the name. Haildesta Like
We'll put it on the
maybe
screen. Yeah,
Edesta. You'll find him if you search for him.
Sure.
Amazing,
dude.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about your nails, actually. So as I'm a classical guitarist, so having to deal with nails is always an issue with playing steel string.
Yes.
For me, at least.
Yeah.
So
No. Absolutely.
How do you maintain your nails? It's like a personal question, but I just had to ask.
I maintain my nails by not playing with Tommy Emmanuel, and when I do play with Tommy Emmanuel, I break my nails because he's so loud, and I have to try and keep up with
His
him.
fingers are steel.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, exactly. So, so I have quite strong nails, just naturally. I also, if you hadn't guessed, I actually play quite lightly. I don't actually play very loud.
No.
So, let's see. So I'm not really digging it that much, but when I'm plugged into a PA, it sounds loud. And there's a few little hits like the sound holes I was just doing. But my nails are they're quite strong, so I rarely break at a gig. However, if I'm on a tour and playing like 10 shows in a row, there's some that do kind of wear away. But I don't do anything to it. I file them, and then they're just normal nails.
And then they're there.
Yeah. I've never done any coating or anything like that. I think with the coating, a lot of my technique is about scraping the back of the nails.
Sure.
Like we were just doing. And I'm worried about getting like ridges, you know what I mean, and having it damaged. So that kind of stuff, it's just better with my regular.
It's almost like you kind of got to get lucky with genetics there. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm from inbred Ireland, but other than that, my nails are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man! Well, we would love to hear something from your new record, if you'd be okay.
Oh, new record,
yeah.
Then we can go back to my first record now and do the layers. Going back to that song
Great
that
transition,
started everything. Yeah, same key. Well, not the same key. We're going from major to minor. But hopefully you can see how the layers are built here. Wrong tuning. Whatever. We'll cut out there. You can fade it out. There's a man who's out of practice.
Incredible.
Thanks, man.
Wow. So real quick, I want to talk about your kind of blend of your own originals and, you know, doing arrangements of other tunes. How do you kind of go about that? Do you kind of, are you into writing more now? Are you into arranging more? Like how do you kind of go about that balance? Because I think, you know, you have a great balance of both, but.
Thanks, man. Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I really like writing, but the writing that I've been doing a lot recently has been very much slower kind of ballad-like songs. Because when I stick the tone with amp on, that's what I want to do. You know, it's just beautiful, reverberant kind of space, you know. But I do like arranging because at the end of the day, every song I've arranged has a deeper kind of emotional connection. Those two things I just kind of joined together. One of them was born out of loss with Eddie Van Halen. The other one was born out of a breakup, somebody that I used to know. So there's always like an emotional trigger to dive into an arrangement. Sure. Otherwise, it's like, why do it? You know, my most recent one is a tune by a band called Sleep Token that I put out online.
Incredible record.
It's, I mean, what an amazing band, right? Seriously amazing band. And they're also, you know, from the UK. And there's a few kind of, there's a bit of a history with just their music and being a fan of it for a long time. But there's got to be some kind of emotional connection there. But with writing, something that I've been doing a lot now is collaborating with people. So this Austrian guitar player, Bernd, who I just did a thing with yesterday,
Sure.
I got to kind of do both because he kind of came up with the genesis of the song. So I had a great time writing, but it was sort of writing on rails somewhat. It was like he wrote his part, and it's like, okay, let's make it a duet. So I had this kind of framework to dance around. And there's a beautiful limitation in that. And that's what I'm really, really into, I think right now is being free to compose, but within a framework. It's like, let's put me in a box and give me a bunch of toys to play with and see what I can create. I really like that.
Yeah.
Similarly to, I don't know if there's any video game people watching, but anyone who's interested in gaming will know that you can squeeze so much out of a finite mechanic. What can you do with little? I really like that, and that really says a lot about what I'm trying to do with the acoustic guitar. It's like I'm trying to get as much out of as little as possible. So that's kind of where the passion lies, I think.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. So I'd love to also ask you about how, when you're arranging a song, how do you actually go about, what do you listen for in a song, for example? What are you listening for when you're arranging on the acoustic guitar? What kind of sparks your interest? Like, you want to take this part and put it on this, like this technique of the guitar. Like, there's so many ways you could go about it, and you've really developed a way of doing it. But I'd just love to know kind of what you're listening for.
It's breaking up the different parts. So, okay, the process would be of arranging. Let's just say arranging, because obviously when you're arranging, the song is written, and you're trying to do what you can with the finite space, like we spoke about. So the first thing is I have to establish what guitar tuning I'm going to do it in. So I'll have to find out the key of the song, and then I'll put my guitar in a tuning that suits that key. Okay, so if the song is in D minor or D major, I usually go for dadgad. If I want a bit of color, I'll do dadgad, but with a high E or something that adds a little source to it. If I'm in E minor, I'm a big fan of a tuning which is C, G, D, G, A, D.
Okay.
So it's dadgad, but with a low, you tune these two down to C and G.
Yeah.
So that means that in the 4th fret position, you're in on an E minor. But then by going down to C, you hit that kind of minor 6, and then you hit the D there, and it creates a kind of Iron Maiden adjacent sound, but with the open strings, which sounds awesome.
I love it.
A low C on an acoustic guitar sounds spectacular, right? So I find the tuning. Then I see if I can, then I work out the chord progression in root positions. So I'll figure out chords and root notes of the bass notes of those chords, and see if it's possible in the tuning. If it is, great. I also love to have a root and a 5 at the bottom, so you can get a power chord with one finger. Then it's, where's the melody? Can I play the melody whilst playing these bass notes in this tuning? Whether it's stretching the fret, or whether it's with a harmonic, with this hand, or whatever. Once that's established, the tuning locks in, and then it's a case of filling out the middle, the harmonic information. So I figure out nice chord voicings using all the strings. The very last thing is the percussion.
Okay.
There's only been one song I've ever done that was led with percussion. Everything else, the percussion is the absolute last thing, and it's the least important thing because it doesn't really serve the emotion of the song. If you've got the melody and the harmony and the rhythm and the bass line, that's what creates the feeling. The percussion is like the candy on top that makes me enjoy the live performance aspect of it.
That's exciting, man. Well, if you actually want to learn how to play like Mike, you have a guitar course. Is that
I do, yeah, absolutely. I wish I had one here. I would totally give you one. There's a lot of people out there who teach guitar online in the online space, and I'm one of them. However, I've realized that people yearn for physical kind of physical stuff, whether it's a gift or just something to own, something that's tangible. So I made these guitar courses with Jam Play. It's like a 9-hour long course and a music book. But I put them in these little like gift boxes with these little guitar-shaped USB sticks. So people get them, they give them as gifts, and it's a whole course that goes from beginner fingerstyle all the way through to learning a lot of the advanced songs. Then there's the music book and much more. So that's become quite popular. That course is almost, I think it's like 8 years old now, and it's like it does really well. Like, people really like the structure, and it's as popular today as it ever was. So that's on my website as the USB Master Collection or something like that.
Incredible.
So you can check it out. It's on sale for the summer, I think. If it's not, I've just said it is, so I'll go and do that. Okay.
So shifting, we're actually at the house here of the BnT Collection. The BnT Collection is Brad and Tina. Exactly. Yeah, Brad and Tina, the owners of Malibu Music and the BnT Collection. So we have some incredible guitars.
Quite the collection you have, by the way. Man. It's insane.
It's insane. So
it really is insane. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You guys are about all these guitars are here.
But I was thinking, maybe we could go for a little stroll. You could find one that resonates with you and try it out.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. 100%. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I was walking around earlier. I went to the restroom, which was actually me just looking around for guitars. Let's go do that. That sounds great.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
This is the Martin Wall.
This is insane.
Just keeps getting better.
There's so many. This is crazy.
Yeah. And then
this is probably the most and diverse display of high-end acoustic guitars I've ever seen in one place.
Have a humidifier here.
Yeah.
So we can kind of open this guy up.
Oh, you got a Loudon fan in there. It's funny. I don't see that many Loudons in the wild in the States.
Really?
Yeah, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Well,
Feel free to try anything.
Really?
Yeah, no, grab it.
Oh,
I think that's
devil?
the fan fret one,
Yeah,
right?
it is, yeah.
I was just playing that one the other day.
Oh, man. So fun fact, I used to live in Downpatrick, Northern Ireland, which is where these are made.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my partner at the time was building them. She was part of the luthier team. So she did the box.
Right.
So she was part of the team that was like building the actual sound box, right? Yeah. So for, which years was she there? I want to say like 2015, 2017, something like that. So this, if you find out what year this is, I don't know how that's possible. I guess cross-referencing the serial number, this may well have been made by my girlfriend at the time.
That's awesome.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
So I spent a lot of time at the factory, and that, man, they do amazing work, George and the team. So yeah, shout out to Loudon Guitars. It's so great to see one of these in the wild, especially a fan. So this is an F, isn't it?
Yes.
It's an F with a cutaway and a bevel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Alpine spruce.
I've had a couple of these Loudons, and I've had a couple also of McElroy's and Avalons, which were guys who also work with Loudon.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I think these Northern Ireland guitars
so nice, man.
It's crazy.
they're vibrant.
It's so warm.
I can't stop playing this guitar.
Absolutely
I can't
vibrant.
stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. I'm not going to do it, but they sound great when you do that. There's a guitar player, a friend of mine from Austria who lives here in California called Thomas Lieb. Thomas Lieb plays Loudons, and he has the little scratch pad thing on there and everything. And he is a phenomenal guitar player, and he needs more people to know about him. So Thomas Lieb, Leeb. He runs an annual guitar camp in Austria in the mountains, and it's the most fun guitar camp in the world. If you like drinking pine needle schnapps with a bunch of mountain men and playing guitar, then it's for you.
That sounds like fun.
What else is here then? So we got this guy. I know this guy.
This is a baritone. You're with a Ferg baritone.
Nice. Being very careful.
Again, I'm sure you know how to handle them.
Wow. Ooh.
There you go.
Ooh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Love a baritone.
Look, if I could have a story with your fingernails in one of my guitars, that's not the worst thing in the world.
These are great. These are great guitars. I've never played a baritone one before. I've never seen a baritone one, honestly.
I think Ferg makes one of the best guitars out on the market today.
Yeah? Where did you get this one? Where did you find it?
Yeah,
interesting inlays there as well. See that?
I got it online. I mean, I was looking at Ferg's, and I went into baritone, and I just like, and I saw this one, and I purchased it through Reverb, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So it's one of those.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
By the way, these are the best tuners. I know. Like, as someone who like tours a lot, and I've broken a few tuners, though, just the 510s, they're the best. Mm-hmm. I never need anything else, honestly.
They're reliable.
They're reliable. They're consistent. Exactly. On my guitar, you see, I have one with a wooden button, and the others are metal.
I noticed that
There's a weird story to that, but it's nothing weird. It's to do with I tried to change the weight balance of. So every guitar has a note in the wood that peaks a little bit. And mine happened to be pretty much bang on an F sharp, which is the third in the key of D, and a lot of my songs are in D. So it was a constant kind of feedback issue. So we added 4 grams of weight to the headstock by adding metal 510s.
Right.
And that was enough to just manipulate the actual structure of the guitar so that now that note is slightly not a note. It's slightly in between F and F. So it's reduced the feedback issues in my guitar when I play live. But then I had to put one wooden button back because when I'm changing that tuning quickly, the metal it gets sweaty. So I slip.
Sure.
So it's the geekiest reason.
But who was the person that thought of
Andreas, the luthier.
That's
He's a genius.
amazing.
He's a genius.
Wow.
He is so good at making guitars, and he knows so much about it. In fact, the scratch pad that I have, I asked him to do that after the fact. And there's a festival in Germany we play in his hometown every year. It's really wonderful. It's like 800 people in the town come out, and it's all of us Kunz players play there. And we all go back to his workshop and have German beer and have a big night afterwards. The next morning, he comes down, cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and I say, "Can you make me a piece of wood to put on my guitar?" And he looks at me like, "Why? But fine." He doesn't take any measurements. He just looks and gets a piece of wood and the sand, and he's just like, cigarette hanging out. I was like, there. And it's like, that's what's on there. Just perfect.
Awesome.
Oops. No notes. You know, exactly. If Justin's guitar tech, Josh Johnson, was here, he'd be just in his absolute element, because on the Justin Hayward tour, there's maybe 14 acoustic guitars on that tour.
Wow.
I think it's 14. So, and Nights in White Satin, Tuesday Afternoon, they're played on a McPherson 12 string.
Yep.
And there's one other song, I think, I play it on New Horizons. And so I get to play his guitar on that one song, and I love it. I love these McPhersons. I love the sounds. This is a different structure because this one...
That's an older one.
Yeah, I was going to say, may I just look at it?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
This,
it's a very different... The reason I bought this guitar had absolutely everything to do with that it was a McPherson, but it looks like it had a face.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah, because usually the McPhersons I'm used to, they have the beard rest.
Which we have here as well.
Right, exactly, just like that. But when I'm doing the kick drummy stuff, right into it. So this is like a whole different kind of beast. It's got a beastly low action. It's like a little ripper. This boy.
It's a pretty incredible guitar.
It punches up and punches out.
And
wow! So there's so many other guitars to look at. I'm getting.
There's a few beautiful ones here as
well. Go ahead and
well.
move on from here if you'd like.
Wow! Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to close this one first and this one second.
Brad, we got to tell them a story about this guitar right here.
So this is actually a guitar that all the woods of it are built in Virginia.
Oh, cool.
But most importantly, it's also made out of a wood that was from Thomas Jefferson's yard outside of his bedroom.
Wow.
So actually you can see
that's
the
an
Thomas
American
Jefferson
guitar right there, brother.
And it's a Husson Dalton guitar, and you can smell it. It's Husson Dalton, made in Virginia also. And this is an amazing sounding guitar, but if you look at the woods on the backside and everything, it's just extraordinarily interesting with the purples and the greens and just, the green and everything. It's just beautiful.
That's a very unique guitar.
Because
can I read what this says here? This,
absolutely, It's kind of cool, the plaque inside.
Yeah. Use light gauge strings only, it says in big letters. Do you see that?
That's one of the things it says.
This special instrument was constructed from all woods native to Virginia. They include backside woods and tulip poplar from Monticello.
There you go.
Saltwood, red spruce, neck and bindings, black walnut, fingerboard bridge. Wow. Kenny Farmer. That's top? Yeah, okay. That would be Thomas Jefferson. Yep, that would be Kenny Farmer.
There you go.
Right there. Wow, what a unique guitar.
And this guitar actually comes with a book, which talks about the name.
so I had to. We're in America, son.
Okay. Right on.
Exactly.
You play that guitar pretty darn good.
Well, it's a beefy book.
Well, Husson Dalton is a very strong company. Bluegrass, kind of.
Yeah, well, it's got that definitely light gauge strings. It's definitely a shredder. This one, but it's got a lot of low end. It's a little. I can tell. I mean, again, I'm not going to do it, but it's got a surprising amount of low end.
I think it's just one of the finest guitars, I should say.
Sure. Well, I need to sort of,
there you go.
There you go.
Perfect. Very fitting. Very, very fitting.
Exactly.
And then we have a few other examples here, which I think are fine
Very
guitars.
cool.
Tetris is one of my favorite builders. And he built the series Faith, Hope, and Love.
Yeah.
And this is Love. So it was the smallest of the series of guitars that he built. And again,
it's got a very voluptuous headstock,
Absolutely. And just
when was this made?
This was in 2019, I believe.
Okay, because the top just looks so old.
It's got that whole kind of old age look anyway. But please check that one out because it's also worthy.
Goodness me.
Yeah,
I love this. These tuners here.
I know. Just
absolutely
the engraving and everything is just it's so artistically beautiful.
Gosh,
and even right down here to your headstock, down to the.
It's got like a Celtic kind of quality to it.
Yeah, 100%.
Goodness me. See that? So it's a parlor guitar, redwood. Yeah. Wow, it's so ornate, so lovely. It sounds like it's I mean this in an observation way. It's got like a banjo-like projection to it.
It does.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Boxy and
really
very forceful out. Yep.
That kind of.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got that kind of yeehaw thing to it.
Yeah.
This would be good on a porch, on a front porch. playing with friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. I'm very intimidated by these.
Well, please don't be.
No,
they're in the finest hands.
That's so cool.
In your hands.
This is. Can I see this Martin?
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
Strata. So
Make yourself at home.
the Michael Hedges thing. I've never owned one of these, but I've always wanted to.
It's one of my oldest guitars.
Yeah.
I got it because I had a guitar I was traveling with, and then it got broken as I was going through, luggage.
Yeah.
So I was somewhere. I think it was. It wasn't Nashville, but it was Memphis. And I went to a music store, bought this D28. And it was like 1990-ish, somewhere in that range.
Was that when you got it, or was that when it was built?
That's when I got it.
Yeah.
And it was built, it was a new guitar.
Yeah. When people are interested in these guitars, do they get to come and play them? And
Well, here's the thing. We have a music store, which is a whole other slew of guitars.
Okay.
Another couple hundred more guitars.
Yeah.
These are just the ones that I bought, over the years for myself.
Yeah.
That I haven't put in the shop yet.
Oh, so this is like personal collection?
This is all my personal collection.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But in the shop, they can come and play them.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So, absolutely. In fact, we encourage everybody to play when they come in.
Well, you should. So the
Malvern Music, guys, by the way.
Malvern Music. So
it's worthy to go and check it out. If you're a guitar player, please come down, visit us. You will have a wonderful time, I promise you.
And you should. And don't even worry about the brands of the guitar or anything. So when I got my first acoustic, I was telling you in there that I was doing like open mic nights and small gigs with this semi-hollow kind of thing to try and raise money to get an acoustic. And I knew nothing about acoustics. I came from the Iron Maiden world, right? Going into the store, it was just a case of trying everything. Like, had a budget, try every guitar, and ended up going for a Taylor because of that exact reason. It was just easy to play. And as someone coming from electric guitar, most people go acoustic to electric, but coming from electric to acoustic, that extra strength needed is hard. Yeah. So, but Taylor's very, very easy. Yeah. They seem to set them up really well from the factory. They do. But it's funny how a setup can change someone's opinion of a guitar when they're coming in and buying one. They can say, this is a bad guitar, a bad sounding guitar, just because the setup's bad. Yeah. And you might have been able to tell in there, my guitars are very low action because of all the, it's very quiet, but when it's plugged in, it's a beast. But if that guitar had a higher action, I might have thought, I don't click with this so well, So shout out for Taylor setting up their guitars well out of the factory.
Absolutely. It's funny because my two favorites are the basics. It's the Martins and the Taylors. Yeah. Those are really, I've got more Martins than I've got of anything else.
Oh, wow. And, the Martin Wall over there.
Yeah, which you should probably take you to because this is a nice little walk down Martin Lane.
I'd love to hear about it.
Martin guitars, again, I started with that one there, the D28. Yeah. And it just had a whole thumping heartbeat to it. Yeah. Dreadnoughts have. But it also had, the Martin, I don't know, cash, I guess. This is the feeling that I was playing something that, I didn't know I'd ever want.
Have you been to Grun's?
Oh, yes. Beautiful shop.
Have you been upstairs?
No, I have not, but I've been to the downstairs area.
The upstairs. I played I think it was a 1928 Martin or something like that, or something crazy, which was expensive and amazing. Right. But there was something, I think they were trying to get me to, they were being very clever. I think they knew which one was better. They were both very, very pricey guitars. One of them was less pricey, but then they positioned it in a way where, but this is the free one. Oh, but this is really also this really good too. And I was like, oh well, it's made me think that's not so bad, Whereas if they'd have positioned it with it this way, I wouldn't have gone for that either. So. Sorry, I'm rambling.
You know what? That's exactly. You go to the shop and they're
exactly.
They're so mad,
but they're so good. That's the thing. Exactly. And there was some amazing 1918 harp guitar. I think that was there. What's this?
That's a 1927.
This?
Yep.
Okay, so this. Yeah, this was. Wow.
Yeah, this is a 1947, and that's called Granny.
Wow.
And that's the 60.
The stickers are from 1947, right?
Yes, you can tell, of course, yeah. Especially the COVID ones, yeah.
Yeah. COVID 1919.
Yeah. But very patriotic guitar, as you can tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just love the sound of this when it's plugged in. It doesn't sound good.
I like the warmth of it, though. I like the warmth of this just as is, honestly.
Exactly. There you go.
Sorry, when's this?
This one's a 59.
And I'll play some Opeth on it. Yeah.
And again, there's that sound that Martin has that I gotta say it's Martin.
Exactly. I've got to do the. It's Martin.
Beautiful.
We'll play some out of tune John Mayer on the Martin.
This one, it's called a DDS Hops and Barley.
Yeah.
Which I just found is one of the most pretty guitars, just with the inlays and everything. So if you said, why did you buy this guitar? I would say 100% for the looks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not subtle. It's got,
it's definitely a very strong player, and it booms.
Yeah.
And it's a very pretty guitar, just like the Woods, and very unique. So, and the other thing is it's number 33 out of 100, and the 33 number is like...
So like a special number?
Yes. Yeah.
I got. I wish I brought. If I'd have known this, you had this whole setup, I would have tried and made an effort to bring some guitars to show you because I mentioned the luthier Nick Benjamin. I have my first high-end guitar was his 100th guitar.
Oh wow!
So it's a very special guitar, and the inlay is like number 100s, and it was the first guitar he ever made for general sale.
Right.
Because everything else was a commission. So as I turned 18, and my grandma left me a small amount of money, enough for a third of a decent guitar kind of thing. Sure. But that was supposed to be for to go towards a house deposit when you graduate school.
Right.
And it went straight on helping me get this guitar, which turned out to be the best investment of all, isn't it? Because then I was just hooked, and that was the album I recorded my first album with, actually. So it's Coca Bolo and Alpine Spruce, beautiful guitar.
Well, that's a great
special number.
Great story, but you're always welcome to come back, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate it.
It's an open invitation for you to come here anytime. This is a Purple Martin, Flame Myrtle, which again, bought primarily for looks, but sounds terrific also. Yeah. Next, as we go to the D45, which is your, high-end Martin, and then a D42, Modern Deluxe, which is more recent. This is actually one of my favorites here.
Yeah.
Just because it's a smaller bodied guitar. So I think this is a double O42, or triple O42, I should say. And same thing here in a co-op.
I've never seen so many rather ornate Martins in one place.
Well, I kind of focused on that.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think a lot of what I like about the guitar was the art of the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at this particular instrument, I want to hear how it sounds, but the first thing that drew me in was, oh man, this is unusual.
It is unusual.
I haven't seen very many of these.
Yeah.
And again, even right down to
metal bridge pins.
The inlays.
Oh, no, just coated plastic.
Yeah, it's cool. Some of these new pins that they're putting in these metal ones. Yeah. See, very different. These inlays are not like your typical Martins.
Absolutely. No, yeah. It looking at the bodies alone at a glance, it took me a second to realize that they were all Martins.
Yes.
Honestly.
Well, and what they're doing is we're going from dreadnoughts down to parlors down here. Yeah. The other thing is, I really would like to meet get a guitar for Mr. Kuntz.
Absolutely.
Kuntz.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I said that properly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's
I love this. I love that style.
Yeah.
I love the headstock. It's just cool.
It's so unique, and that was his. From what I understand, that was his first design, and he hasn't really changed it much. It was drawn on.
It's very cool.
Yeah, it was sketched out on a. I'm not going to say napkin like the romantic story of may have been, but he did tell me it was his first design, and it hasn't changed that much. They're remarkably solid, and my guitar in particular, we had it made as the electric guitar player's acoustic guitar, as someone who came from that background and came from the metal world.
Sure.
So the action's low, the string spacing is narrow, and you can customize that, of course. So it's 44 mil at the nut, and I think 50, either 53 or 55, I can't remember. But it's quite narrow, considering that Loudon's off the shelf for 46 mil at the nut. Which are arguably better for finger picking for most people because I have quite tiny hands and I just want to shred. It's a shredder's acoustic guitar. So if you got one, it would stand out here for sure. And
amazing.
You'd probably be the only person in the US with one that people could play.
We'll have to reach out.
Yeah, there's a few people that have them. Like obviously people have bought them over here, but I don't think there's any in any stores. Yeah.
Well, I do have a couple others. I would love to show you just because I think they're unique stories and. One of which is this guitar or this brand of guitars.
I clocked this coming in. This is the
This is a Tone Ranger, which is built by a fellow by the name of Jeff Levitt.
Tone
Jeff
Ranger
is our
by Jeff. See Jeff
he's
on
our
the back.
general manager at our music store in Malibu for Malibu Music.
Oh wow! So he made this.
And he is a luthier. That's how we met. As he came in, actually was selling his guitars, and then we started to spend some time together, and we decided to hire him also.
These are great. These remind me of Reese's.
They're all of his guitars are made from wood that is reclaimed wood. So this is all from somebody's backyard or a park or the streets.
Relatively local to here.
Los Angeles County.
Yeah, California.
Is this a one piece? No,
yeah.
no, it's no.
No, you can see
I didn't see the light catcher there. I was like, is this a one piece?
Yeah, but again, I love the story that it's recycled wood and it's repurposed and.
Well, that baritone, that baritone that I told you about. There's a song on my new album called Goliath. I'm going to try and do a video for it this summer. That was a reclaimed maple guitar. We wanted to do an entirely kind of sustainable guitar, but then as we started building it, it got to the point where it was like, okay, we have to kind of not do that for this bit and not do that for this. So it just became this weird experiment. But the philosophy was, maple is obviously much more sustainable than Brazilian rosewood.
Yes, exactly. They're going to kill the rest of the trees.
Absolutely.
But this is also one of the Tone Rangers, as I showed you earlier.
We saw this.
So this is a very unique
This is
guitar.
a bass.
Yeah.
A bass with a trem that's 6 strings. Crazy. So
straight up bass,
straight up. It really is. I'm not going to try and do slap bass or something on this thing. But gosh, what a unique guitar. So you've got
the longest neck ever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Where he's like, is this a baritone or is it a bass? And we saw the strings. You see, these are like bass strings, but it's a 6 string, but on the high end. And coming from the metal world, extended range guitars typically have lower range. So it's quite rare, at least for me, to see a bass with this kind of range. And this is so beautiful. This wood is so beautiful, and with a trem, and a nice feeling trem as well. Actually. Yeah, it's got that kind of bounce to it. Similar to Rick Toon's trems. Do you know Rick Toon? Have you tried any of his guitars?
No, I have not.
So Rick is a luthier in New Jersey, and I've got one of his guitars, and he's developed an incredible trem system. It's Toone, which is very unique, but it has a similar kind of feel to this.
Well, again, Jeff's doing a good job here.
The Tone Ranger.
Yes, Tone Rangers.
Respect. This is quite a work of art, my friend.
I know Jeff will really appreciate you. Hear you saying that, he'll be blown away.
Oh yeah, no. This is what caught my friend Liam and I. This caught our eye immediately, didn't it?
And you notice the Collings right away because
Yeah, the Collings. We got the.
It's hard not.
Well,
hard not to enjoy a Collings.
Yeah, well, on the Justin Hayward tours, we were doing on the Collings. I think Watching and Waiting.
Right.
No, not Watching and Waiting. Sorry, Never Comes the Day.
Okay. They just build a great guitar, also.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so nice. I'm trying to think what else Justin plays on his Collings, but it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful company for electrics as well.
Yes, that's what I haven't played very many Collings electrics. I've only picked one up and I didn't plug it in.
Yeah,
but it sounded good not being plugged in.
Yeah, it's funny because there's more people who know. Well, there are a lot of people who know Collings for electrics and not the acoustics.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, because I always think of them as this.
There's
walk around this one. A couple more.
Amazing guitarist called Jake at NAMM who works for Collings, who's a crazy bluegrass ripper.
So this is one of the historical ones.
This looks quite historic, doesn't it? This
is a 1935 double O, and again, it's one of these that
1935.
Yes, so it's got a very nice voice to it.
That's a big old neck, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real comfort, if you're just doing bar chords particularly.
Yeah, every one of these.
Player.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, that really locks in. But it's really warm. It feels like it should be challenging to play, yet it is not. And I know that's a very strange thing to say. So what I mean by that is, intonation-wise, again, we're just picking up guitars, we're not tuning them or whatever. But intonation-wise, the way I'm just going to be very geeky here. The way my thumb is positioned on the back. This has got such a big, rounded kind of neck. It's not quite a baseball bat, but it's a lot more chonky than my guitar, which again is for shredders. But because of the shape of this neck, I feel like I'm just going to be geeky because this is just first impressions. The contact point for my thumb is wider because this has a big kind of curve to it. It seems to be, in intonation on a guitar, especially in this kind of area, it's a whole thing, depending on how hard you squeeze on a string. It makes it sharp or, whatever. But having a big surface area of contact on the back, the way that my fingers are now squeezing into my thumb, it just feels like it's somehow more distributed. It feels like it's easier to play in tune, because I don't know if that's true, but this is just how my brain's working right now, and I feel like legitimately this is a really nice rhythm guitar, to like accompany. And I've never said or thought that before ever. Just first impressions. It might just be maybe how I'm sitting or whatever, but there's a big contact point for the shape of my thumb, which I really like.
There you go. Okay. Thumbs up.
Yeah, just this stream of consciousness kind of stuff here, but yeah. And it's still got that kind of quality that kind of.
It sounds Gibson.
Yeah, and it's exactly. It sounds Gibson.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, 1935. Goodness me. So where did you get this?
About 3 years ago. And I had a friend of mine that actually we opened a music store together, and he called me one day and said, "Hey, I found this guitar, and it's really a nice, 35."
Yeah.
And
that's a very accurate guitar.
Yeah.
For my hands, anyway, very accurate guitar. Yeah.
I find this one is my easiest one to sit here and play.
There you go. Yeah, so we had the same thought. We had the same thought.
And then this is kind of a new.
I know his couch guitar is like a 1935.
This is a new guitar that I just got from a builder that we just started to represent at Mountain Music. And you see it gets there.
So what is? Oh wow, sorry. Well, this is much lighter than the tone ranges. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's one of the things that when I first saw this guitar and picked it up, it was like, oh wow.
Yeah, guitars are cool.
Yeah, three-way. So what? So tell me about it. I mean, what makes it so light?
I'm assuming hollow body because I don't really know that much about it. Like I say, we literally just got these into the shop this last week.
Oh yeah.
But there's no question it's a hollow body, but it plays really well. Garrett had played it for us when we first got into the shop, and I was like, okay, this thing's rocking. This one's
they're fun.
Yeah.
I love the Bixby too.
Yeah, it's a bit of a ripper.
But the weight is really the big thing, I think, and just the classic look.
That's the thing. So my first electric guitar was. Oh, sorry, my second electric guitar was a Les Paul.
Right.
Oh, nice.
So,
and just playing that in bands, I was like, do people really carry this around with them on their backs? And then going to acoustics, people think my guitar's heavy because it's loaded with the pickups and I've got the tone one amp brace and all this kind of a preamp. I've got an internal preamp in there. But when I pick up one of my old electric guitars, I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad I'm not in a rock band. Although we've got a beautiful PRS on the Justin tour now that we picked up in Edinburgh, Scotland, and a Tom Anderson Telly as well. Tom Anderson, California, I believe. Tom Anderson, yeah? Do you think? Yeah?
Don't know what Tom Anderson
is. Beautiful guitars. I've been using a Telecaster that was a gift from Justin, from Tom Anderson, since 2013, but we recently replaced it with a PRS for the live show because of a few reasons. I think playing an electric guitar, much like this guitar, playing an electric guitar but having the option to play with your fingers, especially if you have nails, having a nice raised gap between two pickups and not having a middle pickup is hugely advantageous. I mean, and you can actually get in there and kind of dig in, exactly. So that's why I really like that PRS. That's why this is nice as well. And I know Christopher Cross, we did a couple of tours with Christopher Cross, and he has all his guitars are Tom Anderson's.
Oh, wow.
Actually, he rips.
Yes.
He's got a proper tone henge built around him, They've got like a, ride like the wind.
That
kind of stuff. This is very cool. So this is someone you know?
No, it was actually somebody that we just got into our shop this last month, really.
Yeah, very
and I'm not even sure where it came from, but other than through Jeff.
The
other guy who makes Stone Ranger.
Whoa.
That's the boutique. Yeah. Fun guitars.
But it's a local builder. I know that much because one of the things we're trying to do in our shop is to focus on local builders. So we're trying to support our own community as much as we can.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I'm actually colorblind, but not completely. So I'm slightly colorblind. So
well, that's an interesting fact.
So just with some similar colors like blue and purple or green and brown and things like this. Yeah. So some colors I'll see a little bit differently, but I can still see this is. I mean, so if I were to guess, I would say that this is blue.
Yes.
There you go. Yes, but I didn't know. You know what I mean? So
I tell him blue.
It looks lovely.
Yeah.
to my eyes that are broken. No, I'm joking. This is really lovely.
I was about to say, why don't you grab a guitar and let's head back in there and hear how it sounds.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So pick your favorite one. We've seen a lot today.
Ooh, that's tough. God, this is tough. It's like that. There's a show in the UK. I don't know if it's in America called Supermarket Sweep.
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
I know what it is.
Yeah, and you have like a limited amount of time to grab as many groceries.
exactly.
And the trolley
So
is
1 minute timer now.
Yeah, what was that now? What do you think? Exactly. All right. So you might have noticed through my Kunz, and if you know my Nick Benjamin 138, which is the second Nick Benjamin guitar I got, it's mahogany and I think it's Sitka spruce. I don't know where that guitar is. Legitimately, I was thinking about that the other day. I think it might be under my bed or in my parents' attic.
Yeah.
I want to find that guitar. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
But they're very understated aesthetically. The Kunz has some angles and some shapes to it, but they're not ornate mother of pearl inlays and things like that. So I'm very drawn to these kind of like understated aesthetic guitars. I like natural wear and tear and stories and things, but I like, you know, the little guitar that could kind of thing. So things like that Martin, which again, very understated. I know that's going to sound really nice, but I'm just going to do another lap.
Let's do it.
And then we'll see what, the thing I really like in acoustic guitars is warmth.
Yeah.
Like mid-range and warmth, because there's no, you know, I'm just playing solo, you know, it's
well, you certainly know how to fill the space and, you know, and give it breath, you know.
Give it the beans.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, and these guys, these
He's like, I forgot.
Guys, yeah, I forgot these guys. Well, there's the, do you mind if I open this?
Yeah, right side first. Yeah.
Please do. They're there for you to enjoy.
These are definitely my kind of guitars. I mean, I kind of feel like,
you feel at home and loud.
well, but the thing is, I've never really played a fan fret, or at least, no, that's not true. I have a fan fret, but I don't. I'd like to give this a go because it's so rare.
Take it in there, yeah.
Yeah, we'll take it in there. It's so rare to find one of these in the States, especially a fan. And I have, as I said, I've got this kind of history with these guys, and yeah, I'd very much like to give this one a go, if that's okay.
That sounds great.
Let's head in this
Awesome.
one.
Let's do it. Wicked.
All right. Welcome back to the studio. What do you think of the collection?
Amazing.
Crazy,
yeah,
right?
Crazy collection.
Yeah.
Like I said in there, like every guitar definitely has a story, and that's really important.
Really what we're trying to
And they've all
talk
been
about,
played, and yeah, they're obviously works of art. I mean, anyone can tell that, but
Sure.
the important thing is that every guitar has a story. That's what drew me to this guitar out of all of them.
Yeah, tell me
It's
about
not the oldest guitar in the world. It's not a 1935 Gibson, but I used to live where these guitars are made, and my girlfriend from, you know, a while ago may have built this guitar. We don't know when this was made, but if it was made between 2015 and 2017 sometime, there's a good chance that an ex-girlfriend of mine created this. And I love these guys, and the sound of a Loudon guitar is what got me into playing fingerstyle guitar, because it was that Pierre Bensusan kind of sound. Yeah, I don't want to smash around on these beautiful guitars, so yeah, I'll reconnect with this with a nice little waltz, I think.
Sure.
But yeah, sorry, it's an F50 Loudon, rosewood and what was it? Rosewood and alpine spruce. Yeah, fan fret.
Let's hear it.
Lovely. Well, sitting here looking at this hill in California, just a little cowboy chord waltz with 3 chords. There's that 3rd chord. to the sound. And be alive and be
Man, we got a visitor. Man, your use of dynamics is so great. It's like
thanks,
your touch,
man.
and you're able to really control the instrument well. And you obviously have your kind of fingerstyle percussive things too, but your way of playing with just it's like a few chords, man.
Thanks, man.
That brings you in.
That's what it's
Yeah.
all about. You know, that is a tune that I arranged from a UK pop band called the 1975, and it's one of my favorite songs. And it's you know, I used to dedicate it to my ex-girlfriend, but then I read the lyrics and realized it was about cheating.
Oh,
Whoops. But I've been ending shows with songs like that recently because I've been doing a lot of headline shows in the UK and in the US. And again, I've got the headline tour coming up in the summer. Mm-hmm. And if the venue's small enough, I'll just unplug and just walk around the room playing a song like that. And that sounds a little cheesy, but it's really just a nice way of tying up a crazy shred guitar show with something that's just literally 3 chords: C, G, F, and vibe. Because that's what music's really all about. You know, these guitars all tell a story, and most of those stories are C, F, and G, maybe A minor. You know what I mean? Like most of those stories are that, and that's what a lot of these guitars are kind of used to. And because that, I don't want anyone to think that, oh, you have to be able to play 1 million notes a minute and do all this crazy stuff to enjoy these guitars. You really don't. That's really not what it's all about, is it, puppy? And I remember I played that song at the end to end my show in Glasgow. It was a sold-out show at a place called Oran Moor in Glasgow, and I had a crazy day. The van broke down on the way to the show. We were stuck on the motorway, and we almost didn't make the show. We ended up pushing a van onto the curb in Glasgow High Street to get it into a garage, to get the gear out and run to the venue. There was no sound check. It was plug in, doors open, go.
wow.
Stressful as anything. I got through the show, and I walked around the room playing that song unplugged. I don't know if you know much about people from Glasgow, but they like a drink, right? And they can get a bit rowdy. And I ended the show with that, you know, like this. And the first thing I heard is pin drop silence, really nice atmosphere, hundreds of people. And then this guy goes, "That was a bit fucking emotional, that." Out of nowhere. That's what it's all about, my friends. That's what it's all about.
Man, I love it. Man, so final question to ask you. If your music could bring about one change in the world, anything, what is like a kind of a bigger change that you might want to bring about with your music?
Buying more houses. I'm joking.
He's like, I'm in America.
Wow, man. Look, music, getting into music growing up was all about escapism at the end of the day. It's like, I remember going to the record stores and finding old records with my friends and, peeling through the sleeves and just getting into it and just listening. There wasn't a visual medium attached to music growing up. It was just, you got the record and you listened to it on the train, and I read the liner notes in the toilet, all that. It was just getting involved in the music and the music only. And if anything that I'm doing helps people just switch off from this very, very busy and insanely overly stimulated world that we live in 2025, that's all that I really want. I just want I want to be the guy that makes people stop the overstimulation and just for a second.
Yeah.
Because there's beauty in pausing.
Yeah.
And there's creativity in being bored. Yeah. And no one's bored anymore. So if there's one thing I want my music to do, It's to bore people.
To make them bored. Mike, thank you so much
Pleasure.
for
Thank you
being
so much
here.
for having
Really
me.
appreciate it.
Real pleasure. And thank you, Brad.
Guys,
thank
check out.
you so much for the hospitality.
Yeah, really, check out, obviously, his new record. He'll be on tour
Yep.
soon. Hopefully
Galactic
near you.
Acid's out now. Tour in the summer. Kunst Guitar.
Yeah.
Also check out Loudon Guitars from Northern Ireland.
Thanks for
Beautiful
tuning in to Soundboard Sessions with the BnT Collection. This is Mike Dawes, and we will see you next time.